Do you guys know that you can like talk to other human beings? Are you aware of that? In a conceptual sort of way, if you ever had a problem with another human being person, that you could like converse with them personally about that problem, and then perhaps the issue will not be so serious. Perhaps even you would be able to resolve the issue, especially as a public figure. If you're some form of content creator, it's just a concept. It's just a concept. It's just a theory, an idea. Because, like, man, I'm so tired of seeing people's personal fucking business aired out on Twitter and shit. This is not really specifically about anything. It's just like, man, I am, like, really tired. I'm really tired of seeing, like, people just going, like, the nuclear option every time. Oh, this hot of a take so early? I don't think it is that hot of a take. I think that it generally, in most situations, is expected that you act like an adult. And, like, I guess that became less of a requirement at some point, and I don't like it. I don't like that. I think that it should always be a big requirement that we act like adults if we're adults. And don't talk to kids, like, especially not Cecily. Yeah, we'll go with that. And maybe we, be adults. I don't know why it's so difficult. Why is it so difficult for people to act like adults in situations with other adults? I don't understand it. I've had disagreements with several content creators that and you know what I did is I talked to them personally about it, and then we resolved it. And you never even knew that we ever had a disagreement. You had no clue, because I handled it like an adult by talking to them like an adult. Isn't that so beautiful? How I didn't, do a call out on Twitter or some shit. I'm sick of that shit. And you know what? I've even had issues with people and I've not resolved them. And I never fucking talk to them again, and I fucking hate they ass. And you know what? I didn't post that on Twitter either, because who gives a fuck? Are afraid of dealing with conflict? What is more direct conflict than to post some shit like that on Twitter, though? How is it less of a conflict to talk to another human individual, adult human individual, than to just like blast it on Twitter? Is that not inherently more of a direct conflict, more aggressive, more hostile? Maybe I don't understand how it's supposed to be seen, but I feel like that's significantly more confrontational than being like, hey, I just want to figure out what we gonna do. And there's also this great thing you can do where you can just say, hey, fuck you. I fucking hate you. I don't like you, and I'm never talking to you again. And then you just don't. Are you referencing someone? No, just like Twitter in general. It's not like about anything in particular. It's just like, I don't know. I think that there are people that need to be called out for like specific shit that is like, in reference to affecting an entire community, somebody who's abusive, somebody breaking the law, stuff like that, like shit like that. Obviously, yeah, like that does deserve a call out. People breaking the law, taking advantage of systems, doing like objectively disgusting, horrible shit. But most people are not very good friends. And some people's personalities just don't really line up. They don't really vibe. You ever meet people and it's like, they didn't do nothing wrong. You just don't love what they're like. That's fine. But not every minor oh, we weren't really meant to be friends. I want to stay away from this person needs to be aired out on the internet as if it is everybody's business. And it's just man, I don't really give a fuck about how Cat Girl 1 and Dog Boy 2 weren't really meant to be friends in the long run because they weren't very compatible and didn't have similar values, and that's just kind of how it works in life. I don't really give a fuck, and that doesn't make them abusive either, that they don't believe in every single thing you believe in. It's just fucking insane, bro. There are two types of these people, those who do it for clout and those who think they're doing a good thing and don't realize they're doing a horrible thing. I think the presence of clout being possible to be gained from something like that inherently corrupts any good thing you could do, unless it is somebody who is objectively horrendous. That's kind of my thing about it, is there are people who are objectively horrendous that absolutely need to be called out. That happens. There's been a lot of them in VTubing. But when it's just kind of this person isn't a good friend or isn't necessarily the best person ever, there is a corrupting influence to the possibility of clout and engagement that means that maybe we just don't post that stuff. You can just stay away from that person. But it's just, I don't know. I just think of my experiences of somebody doing that to me, where it was a very simple thing that could have and should have been handled by a DM, But then instead we both got threats or like death wishes, really, not threats. But like they're like, it's just like, you could handle this in a DM, and if you had, we wouldn't have, neither of us would have gotten the death wishes. But here I am getting sent gore, you know? And it was like, it's just so fucking bizarre to me. Cause like, and then oh, well, I'm getting sent death threats for bringing it up, and it's like, you know how no one would have gotten death threats, because we both did, is if you just fucking DM'd me personally, because it was like as simple as like a single DM and it would have been resolved. Like, it's insane. I don't know. It's like, it's not about anything in particular. You know what it is I was just watching a video about like content creators getting like falsely accused of stuff and how they like handled it. And it's just like, these are just like, I don't know. I guess to me, it's like, does every person who do that like mean harm? Does every person do it purely for clout? Probably not. Like, some of them probably genuinely think that they're trying to like help or something, or they're like, they think that's the best way. The fact that there is a corrupting influence upon the situation that you can get clout and like influence from it means like we probably should err on the side of not posting shit if it's not like illegal or something. Hey, maybe every single bit of dirty laundry needs to be aired out. Hey, shit, I have some people I'd love to talk some shit on, I guess, but like, I don't know. It's weird as fuck to me, legitimately. But yeah, anyway, the less time I spend on Twitter, the better my mental usually is. Well, it's like, I don't know. Now I kind of look at it, I try to look at it like I'm looking at a zoo. I'm trying to look at it as if I'm looking at monkeys. You know, monkeys, the monkeys and the lions and the zebras at the zoo. And they're going ooh ooh ah ah and you know, and then they fight sometimes, because that's what animals do, the circle of nature and all that shit. And like, I try to see it like that now, instead of like actually giving a fuck about seeing them as people. Cause like, how else are you supposed to stay sane seeing people be so fucking weird? You know? How are you supposed to see it any other way? Cause otherwise you're just gonna lose your shit. You know? You're just gonna feel crazy all the time, and like, you're gonna be upset, and it's just gonna like fuck up your like view of humanity, if it's even good. If there's even anything to fuck up that's positive. And it's just like, man, like maybe we just like, I don't know, they monkeys. But yeah, I don't know. Conceptually, as a human being, like not just as a content creator, but like in general as a human, right? You are allowed to have conversations with people and try to figure out your differences. You're allowed to say, hey, something you did I found kind of upsetting, or I saw something that made me upset at you. Or like, you know, I don't know how to interpret this thing that you did. Can you help me understand? You can do that and then talk it out back and forth, and then maybe come to a better understanding, or decide that you don't want to be friends with that person anymore or whatever. But like, can we just stop with this shit like that? You're not, like, you're responsible for how you handle shit. You don't now get to cry and say your choice was someone else's fault. I don't give a if you cause harm, or you do stupid shit, or you do irresponsible shit, you don't get to go point at somebody and go, oh, but they did that thing, so I had to do it. No, you didn't. Yeah, most people are different on the internet than IRL, no? It depends, right? Because like, there's like two different like value sets between like online and real life, right? Because online, especially as a content creator, you're dealing with hundreds or thousands of people at the same time. And so like, how the value system works and how you have to behave is like inherently different to like offline, right? Because like, if my audience is upset with me, the way I handle that is very different than if like a friend of mine or my husband or like something like that was upset with me. But the problem comes when people are so fucking chronically online that they don't know the difference. And that's kind of the like sweet spot of a lot of this shit, is when people legitimately cannot tell the difference between like, okay, this is like online value time and this is like human being value time. And so they just act as if it's online values all of the time. You know, that's just my opinion. I don't know.